Drew's awakening sparks a dangerous web of lies in Port Charles. The corridors of General Hospital buzzed with tension as Drew Kane slowly emerged from the darkness that had consumed him since the shooting. Medical equipment beeped rhythmically around his bed, monitors tracking every vital sign as doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize the congressman, who had made so many enemies in Port Charles. The gunshot wounds had been Sever-trois bullets fired with deadly precision, leaving Drew fighting for his life on his own living room floor. As consciousness gradually returned, Drew's eyes fluttered open to find Detective Dante Falconeri sitting beside his hospital bed, notebook in hand, ready to begin the investigation that would shake the very foundations of several Port Charles families. The lie that changes everything. What happened next would send shockwaves through the community. Drew, still groggy from medication and trauma, fixed his gaze on Dante with what appeared to be clarity. When asked if he could identify his attacker, Drew's response was both unexpected and devastating. "It was Michael," Drew whispered, his voice hoarse but determined. "Michael Corinthos shot me." The words hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Dante's expression shifted from professional concern to complete shock. Michael Corinthos, Drew's own nephew, Willow's ex-husband, and father to the children at the center of their bitter custody battle, had allegedly attempted murder. But Drew knew the truth. He had no memory of who actually pulled the trigger that night. The shooter had remained in the shadows, their identity lost in the chaos of bullets and blood. Yet as Drew lay in that hospital bed, a sinister plan began to form in his mind that would serve his ultimate goal of winning Willow back and securing custody of Wiley and Amelia. The perfect storm of evidence. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for Drew's fabricated story. Michael's car had indeed been spotted near Drew's residence on the night of the shooting, a detail that would now take on sinister significance in the police investigation. Security cameras had captured the vehicle's presence, creating what appeared to be damning evidence against the unsuspecting Michael. Drew's motivation was crystal clear to anyone who understood the complex web of relationships in Port Charles. The custody battle between Michael and Willow had been fierce and devastating. Michael had won full custody of their children after the court ruled that Willow's pattern of negligence and poor decision-making made her unfit to care for Wiley and Amelia. For Drew, this false accusation represented the ultimate chess move. With Michael behind bars for attempted murder, Willow would finally have the opportunity to regain custody of her children. Drew's twisted logic told him that she would be grateful, perhaps grateful enough to forgive him for his past betrayals and manipulations. The arrest that rocks Port Charles. The investigation moved swiftly once Drew's statement was recorded. Despite Michael's protests of innocence, the circumstantial evidence seemed overwhelming. His car near the scene, his well-documented hatred for Drew following the custody battle, and now an eyewitness identification from the victim himself, created a compelling case for the prosecution. The arrest warrant was issued within hours. Michael was taken into custody as his family watched in horror, knowing that something wasn't right, but unable to prove his innocence. The charges were severe: attempted murder in the first degree, assault with a deadly weapon, and conspiracy. As Michael was led away in handcuffs, the impact on his children became Drew's primary concern, or rather, his primary opportunity. With their father facing a lengthy prison sentence, Wiley and Amelia would need care. Drew positioned himself as the natural choice, the man who had stood by their mother through her darkest moments. Willow's desperate gambit. The news of Michael's arrest hit Willow like a freight train. Despite their bitter divorce and custody battle, she knew Michael wasn't capable of attempted murder. Yet Drew's accusation seemed so definitive, so clear-cut that doubt began to creep into her mind. Drew, still recovering, but increasingly manipulative, began working on Willow from his hospital bed. He painted himself as the victim who was brave enough to tell the truth, despite the family complications it would create. He promised her that with Michael gone, they could finally build the family they had always dreamed of. "This is our chance, Willow," Drew would whisper during her visits. "With Michael out of the picture, we can get the children back. We can be the family we were meant to be." The custody implications were enormous. With Michael facing criminal charges, his fitness as a parent would naturally come into question. Drew's legal team was already preparing motions to challenge the existing custody arrangement, arguing that the children shouldn't remain with a father accused of attempted murder. Sonny's investigation begins, but Drew hadn't counted on one crucial factor: Sonny Corinthos' unwavering loyalty to his family. The mob boss knew his son better than anyone, and Michael's alleged crime didn't fit the pattern of behavior Sonny had observed over the years. While Michael was capable of anger and even violence when his family was threatened, cold-blooded attempted murder wasn't in his character. Sonny began his own investigation, working outside the official police channels. He leveraged his extensive network of contacts throughout Port Charles and beyond, determined to uncover the truth behind Drew's shooting. Every instinct told him that his son was being framed, and he was determined to prove it. The mob boss's investigation would focus on the extensive list of people who had genuine motives to harm Drew. The congressman had blackmailed Dr. Portia Robinson, threatened the Quartermain family crypt, and manipulated numerous Port Charles residents for his own gain. The suspect list was extensive. Nina Reeves, who had threatened Drew's life if he hurt Willow. Curtis Ashford, whose family had been directly targeted by Drew's schemes. Carly Spencer, who had openly declared her intention to stop Drew. And even Alexis Davis, who had been fighting Drew's restraining order regarding Scout. The race against time. As Michael sat in his jail cell awaiting trial, Sonny's investigation intensified. He knew that time was running short. Every day that passed made it harder to uncover the truth, and easier for Drew's lie to become accepted fact. The evidence against Michael was circumstantial but compelling, and public opinion was already turning against him. Meanwhile, Drew continued his manipulation from his hospital bed. He reached out to Judge Eva Heron, whose body had recently been discovered in the harbor, suggesting that his network of corruption ran deeper than anyone suspected. The judge's death had created a power vacuum in the legal system that Drew was eager to exploit. Drew's plan was working perfectly. With Michael behind bars and facing serious charges, Willow was becoming increasingly dependent on Drew for emotional support. He promised her that once he recovered, they would fight together for custody of the children. He painted a picture of their future together, a family reunited, free from Michael's interference. The truth emerges, but Sonny's persistence would eventually pay off. His investigation uncovered inconsistencies in the timeline of events on the night of the shooting. Security footage from multiple locations showed that Michael's movements didn't align with the shooting time frame. More importantly, Sonny discovered evidence that suggested someone else had been near Drew's residence that night. Simeon, with both motive and opportunity. The real shooter had been careful, but not perfect. Sonny's investigation would reveal that Drew's enemy list was far more extensive than even the police had realized. The congressman's abuse of power, his manipulation of legal proceedings, and his willingness to destroy families for personal gain had created a web of hatred that extended throughout Port Charles. As the truth began to emerge, Drew's carefully constructed lie started to unravel. Medical records would show inconsistencies in his story. Security footage would contradict key elements of his testimony. Most damaging of all, Sonny would uncover evidence pointing to the real shooter, Simeon, whose motive for harming Drew was far stronger than Michael's custody dispute. The revelation would free Michael and expose Drew's manipulation for what it truly was, a desperate attempt to win back Willow and gain custody of children who weren't even his biological offspring. The lie that was supposed to secure Drew's future would instead destroy any remaining credibility he had in Port Charles. As this dramatic storyline unfolds, viewers will watch as justice prevails and family bonds prove stronger than deception. The truth about Drew's shooting will not only free an innocent man, but also reveal the depths of manipulation that some people will sink to in pursuit of their selfish desires. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibilities surrounding Sonny Corinthus' future in Port Charles, and how it might finally spark a long-awaited romance between Jason Morgan and Carly Spencer. In the bustling world of Port Charles, where alliances shift like shadows and loyalties are tested daily, a storm is brewing that could forever alter the landscape for one of its most iconic figures. Sonny Corinthos, the charismatic mob boss who's navigated countless dangers with his signature blend of charm and ruthlessness, finds himself at a crossroads that fans have been whispering about for months. Portrayed by the talented Maurice Benard, Sonny has been the heartbeat of General Hospital for decades, but whispers of change are growing louder, suggesting his time in the spotlight might be drawing to a close. This isn't just about wrapping up a storyline. It's about opening doors to fresh narratives that could redefine relationships in unexpected ways. Imagine the city without Sonny's commanding presence, his coffee import business serving as a front for deeper dealings, his family ties pulling at every decision. As tensions escalate, it's clear that Sonny's journey could lead to an exit that's as dramatic as his entrances have been, leaving room for others to step into the void. At the center of this unfolding drama is Sonny's precarious situation, where old enemies and new threats converge in a web of intrigue. Accusations are flying that Sonny might have been set up for the shocking murder of Judge Eva Heron, a stern figure in the Port Charles legal scene known for her no-nonsense rulings on high-profile cases. The finger points to Jen Sidwell, a cunning operative with a grudge, who's allegedly pulling strings from the shadows to frame Sonny and dismantle his empire. This plot twist adds layers of suspense, as Sonny grapples with evidence that seems tailor-made to incriminate him, perhaps falsified documents or planted witnesses that paint him as the culprit. Meanwhile, figures like Drew Kane, once a close ally but now simmering with resentment over past betrayals involving business rivalries and family disputes, are circling like vultures, ready to exploit any weakness. Even Sonny's supposed friends are starting to question his innocence, their skepticism fueled by leaked details of his heated confrontations with the judge prior to her demise. At 62, Maurice Benard's portrayal has brought depth to Sonny's character, but industry insiders speculate that his tenure could be winding down, possibly culminating in a storyline exit that's equal parts heartbreaking and heroic. Rumors swirl of a mob hit orchestrated by a rival syndicate, or perhaps Sonny choosing a quiet retreat to a secluded island, faking his death to shield his loved ones from ongoing dangers. Fans are buzzing about this natural evolution, especially when comparing Benard's age to the youthful energy of Steve Burton as Jason and Laura Wright as Carly, hinting at a generational shift in the show's dynamics. If Sonny does bid farewell, whether through a tragic end or a strategic disappearance, site could usher in a new era for Jason and Carly, allowing their simmering connection to finally ignite. These two have stood by Sonny through thick and thin, their unbreakable bond forged in the fires of loyalty and shared secrets. Jason, with his stoic demeanor and unyielding protectiveness, has always been Sonny's right-hand man, handling enforcement and crises with precision. Carly, fiery and resilient, has managed the intricacies of their world with sharp wit and determination. Together, they've weathered storms that would break lesser souls, and without Sonny's overshadowing presence, they might just explore the romantic undercurrents that have teased viewers for years. Picture them free from the constant pull of Sonny's crises, perhaps taking over his enterprises or starting fresh ventures, like expanding the coffee business into legitimate luxury imports. Their chemistry, electric and undeniable, harks back to early days when sparks flew amid chaos, and fans have long dreamed of seeing it blossom into something more profound. Delving deeper into Jason and Carly's history reveals a tapestry of trust, near misses in romance, and collaborative parenting that positions them as Port Charles's potential next powerhouse duo. Over the decades, they've co-parented children like Michael and Jocelyn, navigating custody battles and emotional upheavals with a synergy that's rare. Jason's role as a silent guardian, always stepping in during Carly's moments of vulnerability, shook as her past health scares or business setbacks, complements her bold, take-charge personality perfectly. Their platonic love, built on mutual respect and unspoken understanding, has often teetered on the edge of passion, especially during times when Sonny was out of the picture. Recent episodes highlight their teamwork, like when they united to counter Drew's manipulative schemes involving corporate takeovers and political maneuvers in Port Charles. This collaboration showcases how they thrive as a unit, brainstorming late into the night over strategy sessions that blend business acumen with personal insights. Social media is ablaze with fan enthusiasm. On platforms like Facebook, comments flood, and such as Jason and Carly are the ultimate Encomesenes exit, would make it official, or their sparks could light up the whole town once he's gone. Yet, if Sonny's departure stems from the Heron murder fallout, lingering guilt over not preventing it, or new threats from Sidwell's network, could either delay their romance or accelerate it, forcing them to lean on each other more intensely. The ripple effects of Sonny's potential exit would transform the entire General Hospital canvas, reshaping family dynamics and power structures in profound ways. Michael Corinthos, Sonny's ambitious son with a knack for corporate intrigue, might rise to prominence, taking the reins of the family business with a modern twist, perhaps incorporating tech innovations to legitimize operations. However, it's Jason and Carly who would undoubtedly become the emotional core of the narrative, their story driving the show's heart. Should Sonny be framed or meet a fatal end, their pursuit of justice, tracking down leads, interrogating suspects, and unraveling conspiracy will draw them even closer, turning shared grief into unbreakable intimacy. Inventive plot twists might include hidden clues in Judge Heron's personal effects, like an encrypted journal revealing Sidwell's motives tied to international arms deals, adding global stakes to their quest. But complications abound. Jason's enduring ties to Sam McCall, his former flame with whom he shares children and unresolved feelings, could create jealousy-fueled drama. Similarly, Carly's recent flirtation with the enigmatic Jack Brennan, a suave agent with his own agenda involving undercover operations, might introduce temptation or doubt. Will these obstacles derail their path, or will they serve as catalysts, pushing Jason and Carly to confront their true desires? Amid all this speculation, one can't help but wonder if Jason and Carly could find their way to each other, without Sonny completely out of the equation. History offers clues. Fans vividly recall the period when Sonny was presumed dead, after a mysterious accident, believed to have perished in a warehouse explosion orchestrated by rivals. During that time, Jason and Carly grew exceptionally close, their bond deepening into a romantic interlude that captivated audiences with its intensity and vulnerability. They shared stolen moments, confided in each other about fears and dreams, and even contemplated a future together, only for Sonny's miraculous return to reset the status quo. This precedent suggests that even with Sonny still in the picture, perhaps through a temporary absence like a forced exile or a deep undercover mission, Jason and Carly might seize opportunities for connection. Maybe a storyline involving Sonny going into hiding to evade federal charges could provide the breathing room they need, allowing subtle shifts in their relationship without permanent loss. Yet, Sonny's enduring shadowous influence on their decisions, his role in their lives remains a formidable presence, raising questions about whether true happiness for Jason and Carly requires a definitive farewell. As the saga unfolds, General Hospital continues to deliver the twists and emotional depth that keep viewers hooked. Whether Sonny's chapter closes with a bang or a whisper, the potential for Jason and Carly's romance adds an exciting layer to the mix, promising heartfelt moments and dramatic turns ahead. Next, we will learn about the intriguing developments surrounding Marco Dane and the looming revelation of his true parentage. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, whispers from the latest ABC General Hospital spoilers indicate that a major bombshell is on the horizon for young Marco Dane. Fans have been buzzing with anticipation, speculating that the moment of truth uncovering the identity of his biological father could shatter his world and reshape alliances in unexpected ways. Imagine the drama unfolding as Marco, caught in a web of family secrets and mob rivalries, finally pieces together the puzzle of his heritage. This revelation isn't just about personal discovery. It could ignite a chain reaction, pulling him into the heart of long-standing feuds that have defined the show's most iconic characters. With tension simmering, viewers are left wondering if this knowledge will empower Marco or plunge him deeper into chaos, especially as it ties into the shadowy dealings of powerful figures lurking in the background. Diving deeper into the spoilers, there's growing speculation that Marco's father might be none other than a formidable antagonist who's been pulling strings from afar. Picture Marco, a character who's navigated the gray areas of morality since his introduction, standing at a crossroads where loyalty to blood could clash with his emerging sense of justice. The hints suggest he won't just learn this secret passively. Instead, he could actively confront it, perhaps by allying with unexpected partners to dismantle the threats posed by this paternal figure. Adding layers to this narrative, inventive plot twists might introduce hidden clues from Marco's past, like forgotten letters or overheard conversations in dimly lit corners of the hospital, that gradually lead him to the truth. These elements could enrich the storyline, showing Marco's internal struggle as he grapples with betrayal and identity, transforming what started as a simple family mystery into a high-stakes thriller that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats. Moreover, the spoilers tease a potential collaboration between Marco and the indomitable Sonny Corinthos, the mob boss whose influence permeates every corner of Port Charles. Envision a scenario where Marco, armed with newfound knowledge about his lineage, joins forces with Sonny to orchestrate a takedown of this dangerous paternal force. This alliance wouldn't be straightforward in intense confrontations in abandoned warehouses, or strategic meetings over dimly lit dinners where Marco's insider perspective becomes the key to unraveling a larger criminal empire. To flesh this out, we could imagine Marco providing crucial intel from his father's operations, perhaps details about secret shipments or hidden alliances that Sonny uses to gain the upper hand. This development adds a fresh dynamic to Sonny's ongoing battles, injecting youthful energy into his seasoned tactics. and potentially leading to explosive action sequences that redefine power balances in the town. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. ABC General Hospital spoilers also suggest Marco might find a path to redemption by aligning with Lucas Jones, a character known for his moral compass amid the show's turbulent relationships. This shift could see Marco evolving from a figure of ambiguity to one seeking genuine atonement, perhaps by supporting Lucas in personal or professional endeavors that counterbalance his family's dark legacy. Inventing new facets here, Marco might assist Lucas in a medical crisis at the hospital, using his connections to secure rare resources or expose corruption, thereby earning trust and rebuilding his reputation. This redemption arc would highlight themes of forgiveness and growth, with Marco reflecting on his past mistakes through heartfelt dialogues that reveal vulnerabilities rarely seen in his earlier portrayals. It's a creative expansion that could humanize Marco, showing how discovering his father's identity forces him to choose between inherited darkness and a brighter, self-forged future. Of course, the online community has erupted with opinions on these potential plot turns, reflecting the passionate fanbase that keeps General Hospital thriving. One viewer expressed reluctance about Marco turning into a straightforward hero, reminiscing about the sly charm of characters like Brad, who blended mischief with wit to achieve their goals. They argued that preserving Marco's edgy side, with its humorous undertones and moral ambiguity, would make for more compelling viewing than a predictable good guy transformation. Expanding on this, fans might draw parallels to past storylines where anti-heroes added spice to the narrative, suggesting that Marco's shades of dark gray could lead to innovative conflicts, like double crosses or reluctant partnerships that keep the audience guessing. Sarcasm abounds in other comments, with some poking fun at the idea of Marco aiding Sonny, whom they dub the greatest, most caring mobster, in a tongue-in-cheek nod to his complex persona. This critique invents a humorous scenario where Marco, post-revelation, blindly follows Sonny's lead against a supposedly bigger baddie father, highlighting the show's tendency to romanticize certain characters. Fans could envision comedic interludes where Marco navigates this alliance, perhaps through awkward family dinners or botched stakeouts, adding levity to the heavier themes and underscoring the soap opera's blend of drama and irony. Not all feedback is lighthearted. Critics have voiced frustration over the repetitive glorification of Sonny, questioning why every character seems drawn into his orbit despite his controversial actions. They point out that if Marco's father, like the speculated Sidwell, represents a certain villainy, Sonny's own history might make him an even less appealing ally, leading to calls for fresher storytelling that breaks from these cycles, inventing deeper analysis within fan discourse. Some might argue this pattern contributes to declining viewership, urging writers to explore untapped rivalries or independent arcs for characters like Marco to revitalize the series. Further commentary paints Marco as a disappointing evolution, starting with potential but devolving into a dependent figure unwilling to confront harsh realities. Viewers lament that he offers little strategic value in larger plots, perhaps inventing examples like failed attempts to mediate family disputes, or overlooked opportunities for heroism that leave him sidelined. This perspective could extend to broader show critiques, where fans discuss how initial character promises often fizzle, turning intriguing newcomers into mere tools for advancing veteran storylines. Finally, some observers see Marco as a casualty of shifting writer priorities, introduced with a noble purpose as aiding Natalia but quickly repurposed as a catalyst for bigger threats like Sidwell's arc. This flexibility, while adaptive, risks making him feel inconsistent, with fans speculating on future twists that might reclaim his original spark by adding invented details, like potential flashbacks to Marco's early days or crossovers with other Port Charles residents. The storyline could regain momentum, ensuring he becomes more than a fleeting plot device in the grand tapestry of General Hospital's enduring saga.